Open up. Yep, we want to face the east. Koyahakodum. Call Loyim La. Yahweh. Bashem. Yahushai. Bashem. Rakah. Kodash. All right, of course, giving all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh. That's the Ancient of Days. All right. Bahashem is in the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, who, of course, through the sanction of the blueprint of Yahweh, have created this earth and all that's invisible and invisible. All right, with the Elohim as well. You know, the of course, first fruit angels and such. All right, which are coming back in a regeneration in these times right now, and are seeing the end of this captivity. All right, of course, Hashem Rakah, the name of the Spirit Holy, or the Holy Spirit. All right, which give us this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. All right, and that's a pure spirit. Of course, we want to give double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, a great millstone again. All right, I'm the brother of Mafpa. You got the rest of the brothers here, a great millstone Plaintables camp, Philadelphia. All right, we coming with another street teaching. Okay, we in the street teaching, but we are in the end of the world, or the rulership of the Edomites. Okay, we are in the fourth beast. Okay, the Roman Empire, the reincarnated portion. All right, and with the have it with the 10 toes, the iron mixed with the miry clay. We're seeing how the various European vassals, along with America, and of course the state of Israel, are in a great schism. All right, and this has had the world in a panic. All right, because all of the markets are connected. All right, we have fire over there in Nebraska. Okay, that is not being readily reported in the mainstream media. Okay, we have famines. We have people that are in a lack of jobs. All right, we're seeing the infrastructure continue to degrade in this time and such. All right, you can hear the alarms, all right, going off. Okay, and you can see the prophecies speaking. So, you know, the brother is going to bring out the first precept, Magan, Shalomah, and then we go from there. All right. The subject, obviously, is prophecy. Okay, the end time prophecies. All right. So we gonna go after this fire truck go off, because Babylon is on fire, and it's gonna be on more fire when the missiles and Yahweh shall return. All right. You had, you know, just to go in the spirit, you had an individual come up here who studies the scriptures and then asked us about, remember the fires? It was an individual, he's like, he didn't understand about fires gonna be happening when Yahweh Shai will return. All right. Well, you're seeing different forms of fires going on, wars. Okay, I was at work, and a damn truck exploded, you know, and you got the Jake, they trying to put it out, but the Lord is not quenching these fires. So go ahead.
This is Daniel's.
And get the fire off space and down. Go ahead.
Chapter 2, verse 44.
Yep.
And in the days of these kings shall they...
But you could go read a bit above, because this goes into, you know, this current setup. You know, if the brother got the sign or the wath, it goes into the different major kingdoms, all right, with the head of gold, right? If the brother got it, he got the head of gold, you know, going into...
I got it on my phone.
With, you have it, head of gold.
Babylonian.
Yeah, Babylon. Yeah, you go. Yeah, go. You got, you know, if I just work my way up, we're gonna go from the toes on up. I'm gonna do it in reverse. The toes being of the Roman Empire, that diverse kingdom. All right, the Roman Empire. You got that skirt. All right, with the the Greeks. All right, you know, you of course you got the Babylon. You know, the Medo-Persian, the Babylonian Empire. All right, you go into how the various metals begin to what? Become less, right?
Weaken.
Yeah, the weaken, because gold is the most precious of all metals.
Yep.
All right? Now we down to the iron, okay, with the miry clay. So go ahead. So yeah, Saki, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, verse 42. And as the toes of the feet.
Oh, you read up above though, even more, like it's going to talk about. Yeah, a little bit up,
okay.
like might be 40, 2 and 40 maybe. Let's see.
Come.
All right, let me get this
Verse
out.
40.
Yep.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Right. The fourth kingdom, in which you had the ancient Roman Empire, okay?
Shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things.
Yes. And it subdued all things. You've seen how, with the Roman Empire, how they went about and, you know, took over all them different barbaric nations and such, right? You know, and put them in captivity, put them in as tributaries and such, right? You go, you know, into that history and such, right? And which, remember, kingdoms are reincarnated and such too. Now you have to be able to understand, you know, these different things within prophecy and such, right? Okay. Yep.
And as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Yep. Yeah. You know, keep going.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
Right, in which you see with what, the 10, you go into the 10 horns and stuff too. When you go into Revelation, the 13th chapter, they talk about the 10 horns and such, right? Which they on 7 heads. The 7 heads being the major governments ruled by Esau, Edom. You know, you got Germaner Major, Germaner Minor. You got the French, the Spanish, the British. All right. And who else is left? The Greeks and the Romans.
Germaner Minor and Germaner Minor.
Right. All right. So you have the 7 heads and such. Right. You know, you go into the ancient, the Anglo-Saxons, the Franks, the Alemanni. All right. When you go into the 10 horns, that is. All right. Going into what, you know, be coming later on to be the EU. There's the common markets, the Ostrogoths, the Lombardis, right? The Visigoths, the Burgundians, right? The Vandals, the Suevi, and the Heruli. All right, and then you have, that's just their ancient, and then you have what they are today. You know, which a brother, if he got the B sign, you know, you'll see it. You know, West Germany, you know, Italy, right? And you got like England, right? Netherlands, right? Spain, Greece, all right? Luxembourg, France, Denmark, Belgium, all right? Spain and Portugal, all right? The 10 horns, okay? You have it where the brother is going into, where you go into how they're partly strong and partly weak, which he gonna go on. Keep reading.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay,
Right.
and as the toes of the feet was part of iron and a part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Right, and it's you have it with the weaker power, all right, mixed with the stronger European nations, such as you had, of course, Shalom. Yeah, you had where you have strong nations such as, well, the UK, all right, which they left the EU. You have the Germany, and you have the French, you know, and they contribute much of their money in the economy, all right, to the rest of the European members and such, right? But a lot of the weaker nations and such, all right, okay, they're being supported up by them, okay? And then you have it where it's so much division, all right, which led to so much division with this Edomite power structure and such, right? And you got, obviously, you got NATO and such too. You know, we go and you read with, you know, the, as I mentioned, Revelation 13 and Revelation 17, you know. So the scriptures is a history book, okay? And that's what we got to understand. But now we at the end, all right, of the history of the Edomites, right? Being that their rulership that they're ruling in right now is at its complete end, right? We seeing things halt, right? Just like in the strait. This man is in straits and trouble, distress right now. You know, he's being choked by Yahweh, by Shai. So within that, y'all got prophecies. I mean, y'all, yeah, prophecies or precepts in the midst. So go and bring out certain.
Says,
all right.
Habakkuk 2 verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower.
Yep.
And will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I'm reproved.
Right. Now, Magan, just, you know what I mean? So you can speak on that. You're going to read it again and you speak on it.
Habakkuk 2 verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
God, that's dealing with the Lord's prophets here on the highways and byways, that there's nothing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah will do, but he's going to tell the prophets first. And that's bringing out this 100% truth from the men of great millstones, starting with the other apostles on down.
Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right in that book, in this holy book, the Bible, that this truth is going to go across the whole four corners of the earth and being taught to the hopeful elect.
And when we see these things that's transpiring in the so-called Middle East, we make it plain for the people to understand what the Bible says about these things. The Bible speaks about the Lord bringing all the nations to the valley of Yahweh Shabbat, and so he could plead with them for his people. Yeah. And that's what's happening right now. That's the vision that we making plain upon these highways and byways.
Yeah, that's that Kazawan, or the vision, them divine oracles, them prophecies, all right? That the Lord put in the mouth of prophets to speak before it happens, okay? And the Lord gave us this to report, okay? We are reporters, heralds. We give you the good tidings, because this is the good tidings, right? You seeing straight prophecy being fulfilled in your lifetime, in your time, right? So you ain't got to be sitting there like, damn, when is, you know, like, when is they gonna go over there to the Middle East and not come back? You seeing it going on right now. This Trump telling people, oh, I'm not gonna be sending more, and he is sending more. You know, you see the other nations, you know, the various NATO allies, North Atlantic Treaty Organization allies, which was sent, of course, as a direct opposition against Russia with their nuclear ability, all right, and their influence in Europe, okay? You're seeing, of course, with them and such, which I damn near forgot my train of thought. Well, you're seeing with them, they coming against America. America trying to keep pushing and keep bullying, but then they not listening. All right, they pacifying. Oh yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, right. We ain't guaranteed us sending any military aid into that area. Oh, instead, hey, we'll guarantee to be there, but then we're not gonna really jump in there until the Lord appoint them to go over there in there, right, and do His will. Okay? Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
It's 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7. But we speak the wisdom of the Heavenly Father in a mystery.
Right.
It says,
we speak these words, right, in a mystery, right? It says a secret. You know, most people, they never knew about World War III coming on in this time, right? They thinking like right now, Jay-Z, his concert won't be in Philly you know, on the May the 30th. You know, these people are looking forward to the next, maybe building their credit and getting the next house and stuff like that. Looking for the next event, you know, concert and all of that. You know, when I'm gonna get my new, you know, Aston Martin vehicle. But we're seeing, like I say, straight up direct prophecies that's gonna ruin all of that. Ruin the whole fashion of the world. Because this is all temporal. Go ahead.
I'm going to that word for mystery.
Yeah.
It's
Mysterion.
G3466, Mysterion.
Right.
It says, I'm going to go to definition B, 1B. of the Heavenly Father, the secret counsels which govern the Heavenly Father in dealing with the righteous, which are hidden from ungodly and wicked men,
Right.
but plain to the godly.
Which you have that secret counsel through the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, that dispense all these different things of understanding onto us, right? So my guy, you'll get, what's that? Revelation the 14th chapter, right? Which it talk about how, you know, you have a angel, Malakah, that helps us to understand this truth, okay? To put these things in our mouth in these times, right? For the elect, starting with the 144,000, which those are prophets only, choice men, Israelite men, okay? That's going to speak this word of truth, okay? Coming back into their lot in which the Lord ordained them to be, okay? Be in, right? You're only doing what you used to do, okay? Right? I mean, you are, right.
Subject to the prophet.
Right, you are what the Lord made you. You are what you are, you know what I mean? Right, so you'll go to, Revelation. You start at 14:1. Go ahead.
Let me get this.
Precept in the midst.
One more definition.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, hidden thing, secret mystery, generally mysteries, religious secrets confided only to the initiated and not to ordinary mortals.
Right, so this is, like, this ain't for all men. You know, I was at my damn job and this damn dude, you know, he was coming with all these foolish and unlearned questions and stuff, you know, and I'm just sitting there like, dude, we have all the answers anyway. Like, you know, but all the other stuff, like, don't even worry about, because we'll have that in the kingdom, right? Anything that we don't have the answer for, you'll have the answer in the kingdom and stuff. But you need to focus on, hey, first, knowing what's the name of the Lord.
Yep.
Knowing you're a Hebrew Israelite, all right? Not just getting out of jail and saying Esau gave you a second chance, and because you received that second chance, you know, now you're going to run around, you know, questioning even, like I say, what is true, you know? Right? Because remember, this truth is going to be plain for the simple. Yeah, you have to be fully persuaded in your own mind, but this is very plain for the elect. Okay, once I heard this, hey, it's like my mind was stirred up, and I'm like, yeah, this is really it, you know? It may have taken different, like you might have, you know, it might, like different brothers and stuff. A brother might have found, looked into a certain group, followed that, and then finally came to Great Millstone, right? You know, you might have followed some other brothers. He might have had some knowledge, but then he didn't have all the knowledge. See, here at Great Millstone, we come with what? 100% truth, right? Or call a moth, okay? All truth. And then we what? Truly living, okay? Truly alive, fully alive, right? Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 1.
Yep.
And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion.
Right, which that lamb is Yahweh Shai. All right? That's Yahweh Shai. You're going to be continually reminded of Yahweh Shai always, because he is the Alpha and the Omega. All right? Go ahead.
And with him 144,000 having his father's name written in their forehead.
Right, and the 144,000, that's what you got to understand, that they are the initiated. They are the ones that are what? Called, chosen, and faithful. All right? They are true men, okay? Yeah, you know? You don't got to question, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, do they got the truth? Because you seeing it right now. The word being played out. Now you now know that a prophet has been among you. All right? It's being played out right now. Okay? And it's going to continue to happen. The different prophecies that set to happen that hasn't happened yet will, of course, happen. Okay?
Quick precept.
Yep.
It's Isaiah 55.
Okay.
Isaiah 55 in verses 11.
Uh-huh.
It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
Yeah, and these words are advancing. All right? These words that have been set forth out of the Lord's mouth are happening. Okay? You can't say that it's not happening. That this you know, I think they might not use the missiles. No, they are talking about nuclear missiles. They're talking about World War III's, doomsday. Okay, they talking about all of these different things that's in the scriptures because they know too. You know, you don't think that the highest on the left-hand side, all right, of the council of Esau, Edom, the Edomites who rule the world, don't know what's on the right-hand side of the Lord, all right, what he spoke in the book, right?
Yeah, they, you know, these top elites in these different corporations, they have these $1 million bunkers, right, with $25 million entry fees.
Damn.
There's a reason why they building those, you know, and that's part of the prophecy where, you know, they're gonna hide themselves in them holes, you know, because they know something is coming, but from their perspective, right, the pride of thy heart has deceived them. They think that when all of the smoke clears and the dust settles, they're gonna be able to rebuild, right? But that's not gonna be the case.
That's a new thing. It's called accelerationism. Basically, they believe that rebirth after nuclear warfare. All right, and they show you that in Resident Evil, it was called the Umbrella Corporation. They said after this, after the rest of humanity dies, we're going to build our civilization on top of the new surface.
Right. So there's a reason why they're building them bunkers.
Right.
You know, and that's part of his mindset. Psalms 49:11. He thinks that his house shall continue forever. That's why he has something called continuity of government.
Right.
You know. So who the hell going to be affording $25 million to be able to access an underground bunker? That's not for your average person.
Yeah.
Quick precept about the bunkers.
Oh yeah.
It's Revelation 6 and verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Yeah, so, you know, ultimately they trying to run from Yahweh Shai, right? The you know, the Lord is like, as you go into, he's the destroyer of the Gentiles. I'm just gonna call like there, man. The Lord is coming to destroy the rulership of these different nations and establish his own. Yeah, get that? Which one?
Jeremiah 4:7.
Yeah, Jeremiah 4:7, which will you should all get acquainted with all these prophecies, right? All these other what they call these plantation Christian ministers and stuff. They're not talking prophecy right now. Turn it off and really don't even watch that. Watch this. We got the word.
Yeah, they trying to go into it,
Right.
but that's because they've been watching our elder apostles and brothers. So, you know, they've been watching the.
Yeah, they remixing.
But they also going off.
Yeah.
You know, you only study them to have talking points when you come out in the highways to destroy those strongholds that they're preaching. Right? That's it. You know, you identify where they're making their mistakes, so that way, when you're out here teaching, you have a Christian come up regurgitating that garbage. You know how to deal with it in the scriptures. Other than that, they're not worth watching. You know, maybe for entertainment, but they're not worth watching. You know, but I mean, that's the job of a prophet anyways, right? To rebuke with all long suffering.
Yeah.
Reprove. Yeah. Apt to teach. Being instant in season and out of season. So you gotta know all things. You gotta study all things. You know, having your spiritual senses exercised. So go ahead.
Jeremiah 4 verse 7. The lion has come from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way.
Yeah, that's what the brother was quoting. You know, the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. Now the Gentiles right here is dealing with the nations, right? And at the top of that table of nations list is who? The so-called white man Esau, Edom. the enemy of the woman, right? The top enemy of the Israelites, which all the heathen nations are the enemy of the Israelites. But who's ruling? Who's in power? Job 9:24, right? Malachi, right? The first chapter. We know who the border of wickedness is. All right? That's none other than Esau, Edom, dealing with his elites first, then the rest of the nation. But Edom as a whole. So the Most High is going to send forth his son, Yahushua, to redeem the elect from the four winds, but also to destroy and subdue all of our enemies. And all dominions, all rulerships have been given unto him anyways. And so he's going to subdue them through what? Through that great power, right? The Lord is going to take vengeance, and he's not going to meet you as a man. He's going to come back as a supernatural force.
I got precept.
You know, pure fire from the chariots, right? The Lord putting the spirit on these nations to rain their ICBM nuclear missiles. Right? Yeah. And that's the primary destruction which is going to happen here in Mystery Babylon the Great, aka America. That's why this devil's moving so much faster, because he knows that he has a short time. Yeah. So we got to get all this stuff in place, his bunkers, his hiding places. Who's gonna, who's gonna occupy them spaces, etc. Right. And we know really what we're seeing right now. Yeah, it's biblical prophecy playing out, but remember, they need to reset everything. So what better way than to attack the oil, right? That's what they're attacking right now.
No problem.
You know, you got some here in America known as the petrodollar, which is a big reason for why this economy is being propped up. You know? So if they put a chokehold on oil, right? Which America is a large producer of oil too. Okay?
Oh, hell yeah.
But now they just recently opened up the strait to nations not supporting America.
Yeah.
You know? But it's, these nations are still dependent.
Yeah.
Right? So it indirectly still impacts the oil that America receives. All right? Indirectly. You're still going to have a global market fluctuation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to do a reset. You know? And remember, there's a lot of byproducts that is made from petrol.
Oh, yeah, that natural gas and all that other stuff, man. Liquefied gas.
It's not just fuel for your vehicles. Yeah. You figure, you got...
petroleum products.
Right, you got for the fertilizers.
Oh, the fertilizers coming through 50%.
A lot of things, that come of it that deal with agriculture.
I was just speaking to the brother. A lot of people, the most people that's going to get affected by this gas is the truckers. Trucking companies, the bloodline of America.
That's what happened the first time.
Right.
When all we seen them large spikes in gas, like a lot of that stuff stopped. Remember, there's been a lot of trucker strikes too. And everything pretty much comes in on a truck.
Yeah. Oh,
I got a little list of things that just made from oil. You got it?
No. Bring that up.
It says a small list of things that made from oil. It says transportation fuels, plastics and polymers, synthetic fibers and textiles. It says personal care and health care. For you women out there, lubricants and waxes, chemical feedstocks, construction materials. That's just a small list of things that's made from the oil. And it's important for the daily use here, especially with these women that got to have makeup on.
Cosmetics.
Yeah. So once that dry out, you're going to start smelling like yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, they, you look into it. You got the average Keisha, she put petroleum jelly on her head, and all these other products. You might not know, they got all type of synthetic products or products made and generated by oil, okay? Yep. And they be destroying Jake, Yep. Like they destroying, like I said, that's why we pray to the Lord that we continue to just be able to live, all right, have life more abundant, because, we be affected by this stuff directly and stuff, Yeah.
Right.
The scriptures talk about the spirit of a man sustaineth his infirmities.
Yeah.
But a wounded spirit, who can bear it? 2/3 of our people got a wounded spirit. But the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is on us, and that helps us keep our infirmities at a low.
Yeah.
As we pray, we fast, we do all the necessary things to keep those fucking chemicals and diseases from taking down our spirit. Man. Yeah. It's all through the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Damn, right, Chase.
Yeah, the number one thing that we have is faith.
Yep.
Faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Yeah, so what we're seeing is a progression of that global economic reset. You know, everything basically is about to go digital. You know, and that's ultimately when the destruction is going to come. But we know what the scriptures talk about when it comes to conflict, war. Right, these things are going to happen. Yep. Commotions.
Yeah.
Right. It's definitely a part of prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but for that full destruction to be unlocked and unleashed, right? That MOTB needs to be made mandatory, right? And you got these other major players that need to step in and get involved, and we're not really seeing it.
Yeah.
So that's an indication, right, that they're letting these things happen. All right.
Yeah.
Because all of these, it said that all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, should receive a mark, right? Right in their right hand or in their forehead.
Oh yeah, bring out this piece of information off Visual Capitalist, right? Well, I'll bring it out. And then you'll bring your precept back here. It says...
Remember, all this stuff ties in together. All this stuff ties in together. All right?
Yep. Yes.
From AI technology, right?
Mm-hmm. Data centers.
Right, into geopolitics. It all ties in together. You know?
Yep. Kind of, you remember the brother had mentioned about the United States being a great producer in oil, right?
Yeah.
So, I went on Visual Capitalist, all right, which Visual Capitalists, they make different illustrations, of, different forms of information and such, right? So the world's biggest buyers of U.S. oil, okay? I'm just going to read it out for you, But Netherlands, all right, is one of the biggest importer, all right? They're going to bring in the U.S. oil to them. Mexico in North America, all right? Canada, North America, number 3. South Korea in the Asian Pacific, number 4. Japan, China. China even gets oil from America, all right? They got the amount of barrels and such, okay? From starting at the highest being 419 barrels, okay? And on down. UK, Brazil, India, China, all right? France, Chile, Singapore, Ecuador, and such. So, you got to understand that, everything is impacted. And so, you have it that America does take, these things in for themselves too, but they also are producers as well, all right? They did come over to the Americas for these different things, okay? When you go into, they left with the bottomless pit, right? And came over here. These different natural resources are over here.
Right.
Why are they trying to take over Venezuela?
Yeah.
And then,
That goes into geopolitics.
Yeah.
Right? Because, there's a constant fight for taking over certain territories.
Yep.
Who's going to manage those territories? Why? For military strategic planning, right, and defense, as well as the natural resources of that land.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead with you.
I heard y'all brothers going into the 10 toes.
Oh yeah.
And how it relates in the prophecy, also the 7 heads and the 10 horns, which really deals with what? NATO and the EU.
Yeah.
And a lot of those relationships are fractured. Remember, Trump, he wants to get out of NATO.
Right.
Yeah. He always talking about how they don't pay their fair share.
He called him a paper tiger.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to enter into this war with America right now either.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yep. Time.
They say enter into the Straits of Hormuz is like buying a ticket on the Titanic after it hit an iceberg.
Damn. Sinking ship, boy.
Yeah. Buying a ticket on the Titanic. When you know it's sinking.
Yep.
That's all the part of the beast hating the whore.
Yeah.
Not basically participating no more in things that's not helpful to their economy or to their people.
Right. So the relationships are getting more and more fractured.
Yep.
And like the brother said, you know, the kingdom itself is basically deteriorating. That power structure is deteriorating. It's breaking apart. You know, and it has to happen for the sake of prophecy, because even America's own allies, okay, and whatever relationships they have with these other nations, are going to be fractured to the point where they use their missiles upon America. Right?
And also, you basically showing the world that your Iron Dome is a paper tiger. Because Iran basically sat back for 20 years and studied your habits and how you go to war and found out a way that you're weak and basically exposing it before the world. So now all these other countries is looking at you like, you full of fluff. All we got to do is shoot 10,000 missiles cost like $10,000, overwhelm your system. You're going to spend $2-3 million on the, what they call it, receptors or rejectors, whatever they call it.
Oh, you talking about them.
And you basically going to spend all your money.
Them THAAD system. Yeah.
You're spending millions of dollars to shoot down a $10,000 rocket.
Yeah.
Then when you run out of those THAAD missiles, it take a long time to refill your stock.
Yeah,
now they weakened your missile defense system, and now they really shooting the real missiles over there, the hypersonic missiles, causing major damage. But they got a media blackout over there, where basically the citizens get 5 years in prison if they upload the videos of the destruction that's going on in Tel Aviv. So we don't really know the depths of what's going on right now, but we know that Iran is going up in their mouth.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And we love it. This is the day that we've been waiting for, to see the fall of our enemy, man. You know, when you go on TikTok, you watch these videos, and you see people basically cheering that Amalek is getting his mouth one up there. Nobody's sad when he perished, because they know that he's the wicked of the earth.
Just remember, Iran is not the end of this place.
Yeah, that's
All
just a part of it.
Yeah.
Right?
This is just we entering into that, you know, those parts of prophecy.
Yeah.
You know, Russia needs to get involved. China needs to get involved.
Yep.
Remember, you go into the prophecies, it talks about the bear and it being the feet of this place, meaning being the end.
Yeah.
So Russia is going to play the majority, all right, or the major role in ending this place.
North Country.
Yeah, and Russia is supplying it with intel.
Yeah.
They're using their satellites to show them what targets to hit.
Yeah.
But their troops is not physically on the ground right now. But they're using Russia's satellites, their eyes, to basically tell them, yo, hit right here, hit right there. And Russia just went to Trump and told him, if you stop supplying Ukraine with intelligence, then I'm going to stop supplying Iran with intelligence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, you know, with the Ukraine, you know, which is, remember, they former part of the Soviet Union and such, right? Part of that bear.
Yep.
All right? Yeah, yeah. Hold up.
Just stop.
Brother's going to have to
Oh,
check.
no,
to
it's
make
going.
sure
It's
we're
going.
Okay, it's on. Yeah, continue to be live, right? So you have it that, remember, Iran is a ally of Russia and such. Okay. Now, if they stop, right, supplying intel, all right, that's an advantage, all right, that Iran would not have. Okay. But if what? You have it Iran, or you have Russia, or U.S. now not receive what? Assistance, or Ukraine not receive assistance from America, they will be through. Which they still through anyway, biblically. All right? Because as we do know, the Lord, when he putting them hooks in them jaws and stuff, and they thinking of an evil thought, Russia gonna do exactly what the Lord destined for them to do. And ultimately, what? Along with the rest of, you got Russia, and you got various other countries, like North Korea, you know, different alliances. You got the various EU, the 10 horns and such. They gonna come against America, and America is destined for perdition anyway. You know, so we're looking at wonderful geopolitics that the Lord actually planned out. And it's in the scriptures, right? You know, him creating even NATO itself. Okay, and see how it all play together. So go ahead.
This is Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yakalba Page, until the day that I will rise up to the prey my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, righteous anger, even all my fierce anger from all the earth shall be devoured by the fire of my jealousy.
Right, which the Lord is what? He's been assembling all these various nations for World War III, right? We've been telling you that. That's what we're seeing right now. Iran is part of the semblance of the Northern Army and the rest of the nations going to the valley of Yehoshaphat, of Joseph.
Right. Remember, how did this all start? The least of the flock shall draw them out. It was provocation by the small heads.
Yep. Tiny time.
That drew them in. Okay? And remember, that's part of what they call the so-called Greater
Israel
Project. Yeah.
I got another precept.
Yeah, they trying to take land. Which define that too, for Brother Ken. Define that Greater Israel Project. You know, you got to continue to edify.
Yep.
You know, for these different terms and such. I remember I had heard it and I was like, oh shoot, I need to look into that and stuff. So we can look into it right now too. You know, because this is part of our studying, to show and rightly dividing this word of truth. Because you hear the prophecy, all right, and now we breaking it down secularly so that you can be able to understand it. But the Bible is that straight up hammer, all right, and that rod that's playing all this out. Shalom, mama. Yep, come on.
Here's an AI overview. It says the Greater Israel Project is a right-wing Zionist vision aiming to expand Israel's borders.
Okay.
Often encompassing all of the West Bank, Gaza, and some interpretations parts of Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Egypt.
Right. In which you gotta go geographically and look. You know, they do not like everything in that region that's gonna be against Israel. All right, and they're of course dominance. All right, which really they dominate the world. The tiny tots will dominate the whole world. You know, they just not going. They're gonna try to hide it. Okay. Right. You know, brother can pull up a map if you and just show it. You put the different. You can even put it in Israel, Greater Israel, and a map, and they'll even go and show you and such. You know, and we seeing how, that they use America, all right, to push towards this mission. All right, because America is fronting the major military force, all right, for them, all right, in collaboration with them, but they need America, all right. So the brother gonna go and show, and you explain too in the midst and such, okay. You can show the map, okay. You can name the countries and stuff in the region.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, part of Iraq,
right?
A large part of Egypt, Jordan, some parts of Syria, Lebanon.
Which you see they bombing the hell of Lebanon and stuff, right? Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's about it.
I gotta know it, man.
The brother got
crazy.
something. Go ahead, just you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you just explain, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so they got Iran in there, obviously.
Iran, okay, which again, Iran is part of prophecy too, as we going into in what we're talking about, which is the Greater Israel Project, right? With them drawing America, the least of the flock, with Israel drawing America into this conflict.
Right, the least of the flock being Amalek.
Yeah, Amalek, going into
because they're both Edomites.
Yep.
Okay. All right. They're all Edomite. Even Russia is Edom.
Yeah, they eat. Right.
You know? But they're just against each other.
Yeah, they schism. Satan against Satan.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. You know.
Oh,
yeah.
So they laying false claim to these different regions.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, they got nuclear. Yeah, they just said Iran is nuclear.
Yep.
With Trump. You know, just like they did
that's
with
the justification. We gotta prevent Iran from
possessing a nuclear weapon
at all costs.
Yeah.
You know? That's the false pretense for what they're really doing, which is expanding territories, etc.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's what they're doing.
And that's just one of many things that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, it's an illustration of what they're trying to do over there. And you know, in order for them to do it, they need a what?
They gotta take
the resources.
They gotta do it by great slaughter and force.
Sword. They gotta use that
They gotta use a sword.
They gotta take that piece from the earth.
Yeah.
They gotta use the violence. All right.
Remember, they were literally committing genocide. They didn't want to say them terms, but they were committing genocide. They were starving them people out.
Right.
Setting up blockades. People, no resources coming in or out.
Yeah,
The siege, right? The
Yep. Siege. There you go. Sitting. Yep. Yeah.
Well, look into the actual word genocide. That's actually what they would do.
They trying to cut bulls off.
Yeah.
Like they don't want you no more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Fine.
And none of them nations that are in there are supposed to be there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they said the bastards shall dwell in Ashdod.
Mm-hmm.
And that's again, that's Amalek.
Amalek. You want that definition for genocide?
Yeah, you go into it.
Yeah, the definition for genocide in an overview. And it says genocide is the deliberate, systematic destruction in whole or part of a nation, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Is recognized as a crime under international laws.
Right.
So it's recognized. So if you targeting a certain race or group, it's recognized as a crime.
Well, if you want to destroy a nation, you starve them out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You starve them out.
Look what they doing, what they call.
Or you drop bombs on schools.
Yeah.
You target their infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Energy, ability to produce stuff.
Energy. More.
Yes.
It says it involves killing members, causing serious harm, or creating conditions designed to destroy the group.
Yeah, you seen them
conditions to destroy the group.
Kill the Ayatollah, killing all the different members of the military and such.
Yeah, where's his son, Ayatollah's son? He's more militant than his father.
Oh shoot!
Is he younger?
Yeah. And he basically they killed his whole family. You know, and he want revenge, man. You know.
And you see that you read the terms and conditions. He's saying that he want reparations for all the damage in human life that you caused. He said he also want to be able to assemble nuclear weapons, and he also want all the American troops out of that whole area, the Middle East. Mm-hmm. You know Esau not gonna go for that. That's something that Esau Edom would make up.
Yeah.
That's why the war is gonna keep escalating until Russia jump in, but the chip gotta come first though.
Yeah, we gotta see it go, and that's what they're doing. They're resetting everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
They're resetting everything by attacking that petrol, that oil.
That oil boom.
And that's a big fueler, literally and metaphorically, it's a big fueler of this economy.
Right.
This is
and if it's costing, farmers more money, right? And if it's costing these companies more money to do business, right? And to basically create and manufacture these products, then everybody's gonna feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's gonna have a whole entire effect. Right? And if first of all, also you gotta think about how inflation, right? And hyperinflation could happen too.
Yeah.
If they start going to these other nations and stop investing in American oil, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have an influx, because the whole thing is in order for them to buy American oil, they need to invest in the dollar, which is the world reserve currency.
Yep.
A lot of resources, especially oil, is tied to the dollar bill, hence the petrodollar.
Mm-hmm.
But they could easily flood the system with additional American currency just by simply not investing anymore.
Yeah.
That would cause,
And
shrinkflation is crazy right now. Shrinkflation is insane. You buy a box, a bag, or whatever of anything, that thing is 80%. It used to be 50% air. Now it's 80% air.
That's crazy.
There's reports that they shrinkflation of gas.
Yeah.
It's like your gas is running out faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I was hearing, but
That's true. That's true too.
Mm-hmm.
then I heard that it's really the gas companies raising the prices because they see the opportunity.
Yeah, price gouging. Yeah, to make that bread. Because remember they're a corporation too.
Yep.
And they could profit off of this crisis,
Yeah,
man.
it's opportunistic. Yeah,
man.
It's opportunistic.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that's tied to this, man. There's a lot that's tied to this.
This is Exodus 17. 13. And Joshua discomforted Amalek and his discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this from a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called it the name of it Yahweh Nisai. So he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And right, if he goes to that name, Joshua, it's Hawashai. Okay, now you're going to meet, which means saved. But now you're going to meet Yahushai. Okay, because, hey, the Lord got war with Amalek. Not just on an earthly level, these nations, they had war with Amalek. They want to destroy Amalek, but mainly the Lord, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai wants, he wants that first, what do I call it?
First dibs.
First dibs, man. On Amalek. Okay?
Yeah.
And it says war from generation to generation. So that shows you that Amalek is still here because there's still an evil force on this planet that's causing mass destruction and chaos everywhere they go, man. Okay?
Yeah, you look at the list of genocides when they got into that land from 45 till now, all the genocides from generation to generation, man, they still can't get rid of those Arabs, man. Those people in that land.
Yeah.
Because of why the Most High set it up that way. And the Most High is the one that's going to get you out that land. Through what? Bloodshed, through violence.
You want that? Go back to Jeremiah, the 4th chapter?
Well, brother got something in the midst. Go ahead.
God, this is Isaiah 19 and 14. It says, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. And they cause Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
Okay, you can make your point.
God, so that's what the Lord doing to America, starting with Trump, because he, doing that mistake that he's making over there with the oil, and he also Israel bombed the largest oil field in Iran, and that's causing China and the rest of those are China's exports. You know what I mean? So that's causing China, Japan, all of those countries to feel it. They said it's going to set them back 5 years.
Dang.
Oh, I think China stopped moving ships for certain supplies that America would otherwise, have imported. Brother can look that up, but there's certain. I just saw the report briefly, Brother had posted it, but yeah, China put a hold on them ships. So we're gonna see how that. Again, well, it's like Gerald Celente had said. He said, you got currency wars, trade wars, then world war. Right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a combination of all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy. And you messing with this trade.
Yep.
Man, you messing with the world, man.
Remember, as soon as Trump came into office, he's threatened all these different
tariffs.
nations with, increase in tariffs, 20%.
All this stuff. They need to pay.
Then they, I think that they temporarily halted them and then turn around and put them right back on.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And China did the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
Turn around and put tariffs on American goods.
Yeah.
I can't find that, man.
No?
Okay, kind.
I don't know if another brother can, but I can't.
Yep.
What y'all looking for?
China holding his shipping.
This is Google AI says. It says, as of March 2026, amid the Iran-U.S. conflict, China is navigating severe Strait of Hormuz shipping disruption by pressing Tehran to keep lanes open, while its oil-laden tankers, often flagged with quote-unquote China owner, signals to avoid attack. It says continue limited high-risk transit. China, the buyer of 90% of Iran's oil, seeks to secure its energy supply while navigating risk to a strategic partnership.
That wasn't it.
That wasn't it. Okay.
He talking about China holding his ships from coming to America.
Oh, okay. Shalaki.
Yeah, they're bringing it. Yeah.
I'll find it, brother. Continue on. I'll find
But
it.
you, like I said, you have it that they use that particular, waterway to get stuff. Right? Remember, it got to come over here some way. Right?
You know,
Wait.
oh, my bad.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Notaju, his last speech, he spoke about making a pipeline that go from Saudi Arabia all the way over to I think it's like Turkey. So that's how they're gonna cut out the Straits of Hormuz, by building a pipeline.
Yeah. Yep. But with that, like I say, you got all these other, you got different Arabs and such. Yeah, you destroying, of course, all of that. They ain't gonna let you do that. They could just destroy that pipeline, just like with Nord Stream 2. Yeah. With Germany and such, right? But go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 49:7. It says concerning Edom, it says, thus said Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, the Lord of hosts of armies, is wisdom no more in Teman.
Yeah.
And that's talking about Germany, but that's dealing with Yahweh, dealing with the Edomites.
Yep.
It says, his counsel perished from the prudent, is their wisdom vanished. And that's what we're saying today. The Edomites, so-called, you got the Israelis, you got America, they all making the dumb decisions about dealing with Iran, but really them getting involved in that war is going to bring on the MOTB, and it's going to quicken that World War III. It says that was it.
Yep. Yeah. All right, next. I got anything else? Yeah, so, going back to the whole topic,
The only thing I found on it was as of early 2026, cargo shipping from China to the U.S. West Coast has experienced significant reductions, not a total cessation, while some reports noted severe, temporary, or seasonal dips due to tariffs and shifting trade patterns. But it says vessels continue to operate with cargo volume down 42% in late 2025 and an expected 10% decline in early 2026.
40% a lot.
Yeah.
It says declining volumes. Shipping capacities experiencing a sharp decline due to high tariffs and blank sailings or canceled voyages. Canceled voyages. Excuse me.
Yep.
And then you throw this current conflict in the mix. I can't see anything directly related to it right now, but one of them sources could have been fake news. It could have been maybe something that happened months ago. People, you got to watch out too, because people are trying to tie certain things that happened last year to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Making it seem like it's present.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful too, But yeah, I mean, there you go. With the tariffs and the current conflict, yeah, you're going to see disruptions.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes 5 and 9, right?
Yep.
Hold on. I want another brother to get it. You just focus on the camera, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 5 verse 9, it says, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all the king himself is served. Let me read it over.
Yeah.
It says Ecclesiastes 5 verse 9.
Yeah.
Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all.
Right.
The king himself is served by the field.
Right, man. The world, man, because remember the world, it produces like strengths, right? You got different dainties that come out of the earth, oil, right? We got cattle that be on earth, right? The Lord did put animals here, okay? Some people might don't think that, you know what I mean? But the Lord has animals, cattle, right? Gold, silver, right? That come out of the earth. Uranium itself, that comes out of the earth. You got to mine it. Coals, all these different things got to come out of the earth, okay? And remember, you have a global trade. You got different trade routes in the world. You had different wars over goods being able to be transported from one region to another. You go into even with different people that would just hide out. Like you go into them thugs. Them thugs, they will hide out. Ooh, look at this. Look, just like this wreck chaser here.
Just makes a,
I don't even know what that is.
He just trying to make a U-turn without.
And them dudes is crazy.
He about to hurt him too.
Yeah, them wreck chasers are crazy. You see, he transporting You know, cars, all of that. There's different things that are part of the cars and stuff, that components that come out of the earth, that lithium and all of that. You know, they got to get all of them different things, right? You have it that Donald Trump, like, do he totally understand that what he's doing is jacking up the gas prices, where he said he promises going to keep down low during his reign, you know? You know, so he giving you these different lies and such. He fed you, again, he give it this neighbor, what, Habakkuk 2 and what, 15? He feed his neighbor drink and look upon his nakedness and such, right? You got all of these different people and such that have believed in these different lies that you have given.
And
right?
people still supporting this guy.
Yeah.
Everything he says, no matter what he says,
yeah.
what he do, they gonna support him.
Yep. Don't say nothing about Trump to some people. They gonna delete you off Facebook, Instagram. They ain't gonna stop. So they gonna stop talking to you. You know what I mean? But it's the truth. Okay. Look, I understand you got him as a demigod, but look, this dude, like I said, he only for a certain purpose, and he against you too. Mm-hmm. All right. A lot of you Edomites that believe in that believe in Esau, Edom. Get that right there. You got that Habakkuk?
Habakkuk, yeah, I got you.
2 and 15.
Yep.
All right. Hold it, quiet. Yep, you good.
This is a Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 15. Mm-hmm. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him."
Right, which remember, with America, you gotta get that scripture. How Babylon is a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Right? Get that too real quick. Because through America has, with its philosophies, has fed all of these different beliefs onto the people, the ideologies to the people, right? Even the nations, you know, they trying to come with the diplomacy thing. Let's just talk things out. But now America is like, no, we just want war, right? Y'all got that? Yeah.
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 I got it.
Okay.
It's Jeremiah 51 verse 7.
Right.
It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken.
Yeah.
The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
Right. The nations acting all out of order. You know? Like I said, these people come to America. I seen the Arab chick with the pants on and stuff. Like everybody see the chick with the Arab chick with the she always have like some type of jean jacket and the pants on and stuff, you know? Where she supposed to be all the way covered up. She not doing that no more, right? A lot of these other nations, look, they got McDonald's in their damn, you know, you got McDonald's in the desert, you know, in Dubai and all of that, okay? You got, of course, where they believe in voting and stuff like that. You know, over there and with that succession over there with Iran, that just went right through the lineage, right? With the father, with the Ayatollah's son, right? He next up already. Okay, we see how with America being diverse, right? We talk about how it was diverse from all the other kingdoms and such, right? You know, and we know, of course, with America, the Roman Empire and such, which America it mirrors the image. Right, it has the image, all right, of the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire and such, having, of course, the Senate, these congressional meetings, right? You know, House of Representatives, okay? You see it, you know, with all of this. Oh, we got to go check after the fact if America can be over there in Iran after you had the emperor, which is Donald Trump, Nero 47, already go and do it, okay? You seeing all of these philosophies being pushed in the earth, and the people are crazy. Okay? I don't even know what that is. You know? These people these other nations, they just start rapping. Right?
That ain't even rap.
Yeah, right? They just start rapping. Yeah, you know, or drilling. You know, you like this dude just like that sound like an Arab just screaming and shit, man. Like, you know how they be screaming out war cry to destroy something, you know. Yeah, everybody know that slogan, what they say. I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Low frequency.
Right.
Just complete low frequency.
He put some low drums to that thing, you know, which, you know, that geared him up. And now all of a sudden, you know, other people think it's catchy. Oh man, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, you know, niggas need theme music to do their mischief.
Yeah, man. This dude about to go into somebody's house right now in Temple on Susquehanna, man. You know, he going right into somebody on North, man. You know, we in North Philly right now,
Yeah,
you know.
America breeded something called main character syndrome too.
Yeah.
You know, niggas got it, Edomites got it, they all got it. Everybody act like they being
Like they're protagonist.
Number one.
you know? Like everything centers around them and shit.
Yeah.
Remember, men shall be lovers of themselves.
That's right. Okay.
You know, mainly you doing that shit for attention because you think all eyes are on you.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Right. You know, he got to pull up, drive slow. You know, make sure they hear it. Blast
Right.
it high. You know?
Blowing his goddamn speakers out.
Yeah, he got messed up
Maxing them Jones out.
off of vanity. You know, for vanity, he got the shades on. You already know. You know, he got the Tesla. He trying to seem like he cool and he with the trend, you know. You know, he got an apartment down here with the rooftop.
Yeah, another simple ass Israelite. To
Yeah.
put it in summary. Just another simple ass Israelite
Right.
in America.
You know?
Confused, destroyed,
Yeah.
wicked.
Yeah. So the nations are mad. Keep going.
Back in Jerry. Back in
Yeah. Just finish off and it's gonna go right back to Wine because we on that preset and such, right? Damn. Flat. I see it. Yep.
Yeah, even though these other nations, you know, they don't refer to themselves
Show
as a
us.
democracy.
It's a lot.
There's certain parts within the nation that have accepted democracy,
Yeah.
you know, or the influences of America or the West
Mm-hmm.
have permeated their culture,
Yep, sure.
you know. Shalom. That's why they're mad, you know, meaning they've been perverted, they've been corrupted.
Yeah.
All right, not mad as in angry, meaning they staggering because of that wine, because of that philosophy. You know,
It's
they're going away from their own, you know, culture, routines,
yeah.
traditions.
Yep.
They've been partakers of, you know, Babylon's, you know, wine.
Yep.
The philosophies. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed.
I think we just reached another $1 trillion on that
yeah,
national debt.
Yeah, thanks to this war, man. Right?
Yeah.
And all the dumb decisions.
Still asking for more money.
Yeah, they
Right.
want mugga more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't no balm for her pain. And again, we understand it was all set up and designed for this place to ultimately undergo a systematic collapse. You know, this ain't sustainable. You know, printing money and nothing really backing it, and the sources, the resources that are attached to it, are all they're all able to be manipulated,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
seeing them being manipulated. We're seeing a disruption in the global economy. You know, which in turn upsets local economies. You know, a lot of these local municipalities, they're out of money.
Yeah, man.
They can't get the funding that they need, all right, for infrastructure and programs.
Yeah.
This place is
Homes,
completely through.
homes. We got
That's why
housing
people are,
crisis.
why do you think that people could actually get on these assistances? They won't have to work 2-3 jobs.
Yeah.
But nothing is really affordable. And don't you dare ask for a raise. You know?
Dude, they promised at my job, they promised a raise, became union, and still ain't give up the money.
Yep.
You know? We like, damn, okay. They still gotta negotiate. Just to pay us what they said was promised or
contract.
pledged. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So remember with America, that I bought ya, which is that
Heavy
thick
debts.
clay.
Yeah.
them heavy pledges, which somebody got to hold that Habakkuk. Y'all know 2 and 4. What's that? 2 and 4? Right? You go ahead. You know, the vision coming all together. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go to verse 4, or start at verse 4. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
Right, Magan, you speak on that right there. Yep, speak on that, Magan. Read it again for him.
Yep, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
That's dealing with Esau. You know, Esau was created to be destroyed. He's that wicked, that vessel that's fitted to be destroyed. You know, he was born wicked. So there's nothing he can do, nothing you can hold hands and try to sit down and have a council with them, beginning with the small hats, the top making family. You know, Yahweh created them to be the wicked.
Yeah, it said his soul, which is lifted up, meaning he's got great pride.
Yeah, Rabbi.
You know?
Yeah.
Great pride. But it's not upright.
Yeah.
There's no righteousness in this devil, in this Edomite.
Yep.
No, there's no in him there's no good thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he don't even want to stop that war. He's like, oh yeah, I want no ceasefire. Right? Yeah, right. He have deceit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, complete arrogance. You can see the way that Trump is nothing but arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
He's the living personification of arrogance. In that spirit of America.
Yep.
You know? That spirit of pride, arrogancy,
Yep.
haughtiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You can see in his eyes that he regretted.
Yeah.
Even though the small hats calls him to do it, and he's doing all this stupid shit. Like he say he don't want no allies, then he want allies, and he going back and forth. He can condemn NATO and shit.
Confusion.
But then he say, we don't need no allies. We can do it ourselves. It's just buffoonery. You know?
He's telling the allies to step up while also telling them we don't need you.
Nah, we don't
step
need
up.
paper
No,
towel.
step down.
Paper towel.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Babylon. That's confusion. You know, with that, America.
Well, he has warried himself in a multitude of his counsels.
Oh, yeah, that's Isaiah 47, right? Yeah, he wearied himself. Yeah, Tazapot, Isaiah 47.
He's weary.
He didn't even take counsel when he went to war with Iran. He didn't go
Yeah,
to Congress.
he went right in. Yeah, he went past that. They checks and balances and such, right? I thought y'all needed congressional approval before y'all go with these big acts of war. We going straight direct to the executive office of Nero 47. That's how we also know that dude, what he about. All right? What?
Yo, that's how you also know who really runs the government.
Exactly. Right.
The bird crashed into the net.
Yeah. That's spiritual. Bring that up. That's spiritual. Why? Because this dude gonna get caught in his own net. It hit the net. It hit the net, which that's spiritual. Y'all put that in there. Remember with Esau Edom being that eagle, right? Yeah, look at that, man. You know, that's spiritual. That you don't see nothing like that.
That happened right to us, but it happened right next to us, brothers.
Yep.
It happened right next to us.
Crazy. We just seeing feathers. That's it. That's all
He
you
did. He hurt right there. Look.
Where he at?
Right there in the field. See him?
Damn.
Matter of fact, a hawk got him. A hawk standing on top of him.
Look at that.
Yo, you gotta
You don't
take.
see it? Look.
Hold on. Somebody gotta get that iPhone. Somebody take a picture
A hawk
and get
standing
that.
on top of him.
You got an iPhone?
Killing him.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, get that real quick. Look, he eating them. He eating a pigeon. He eating a pigeon. Get that on there. Look. Yo.
Yeah, right there.
Look, he out.
He flew away with him.
Look, he out. He got him, and that's it. Look, he going to the tree. Go sit down and eat his ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
That's that line that coming out of his thicket.
Yeah, how was Shaw gonna come, man? That brick, you know?
Yeah, I'm in the city, though.
Yeah.
In the city, that hawk came out of nowhere.
Right.
Oh, fucking Gerard.
Right.
Where the hell did the pigeon come from?
Right.
That's hawk season. Yeah, you don't see, that's why you don't see pigeons out there like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
grabbed him out of the air too.
yeah. And that's like how it is. Like that's how Yahweh Shah gonna come and take down Babylon the Great America, man.
That's
Just
damn
gonna,
near straight out of a cartoon.
right. Gonna
That's not something you only see in the cartoon.
Nah, man.
Yo.
Yeah, he gonna
Wow.
swoop down. The Lord gonna swoop down.
It's,
You know?
Yeah.
Right into Babylon and take this place out, man. Yep, go ahead.
This is
Well,
Nehru.
didn't y'all read earlier about Babylon is falling? It's
Yeah,
falling.
yeah.
Didn't we
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
was
he
reading
got
that?
it. Yeah.
Jeremiah 51.
We was
Yeah.
reading that.
Yup.
Yep.
It's suddenly falling.
Uh-huh.
May I add through the spirit?
Yeah, yep.
We just got done reading that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Can't make this up. Yo, I've been noticing the Lord been heightening them spiritual signs too.
Yeah.
And
heavy.
also allowing a lot of the things that we saying and praying to come to pass quick.
Yeah.
Quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because we in the time of the Lord administering power. We're in the time of great miracles happening and divine intervention. You can consider that an act of divine intervention. The Lord showing you what he about to do after we just spoke it. Then you shall know a prophet has been among you. The Lord has sent a significant sign. Whether you believe it or not, that's not, like the brother said, that's not something that happens every day. And it happened in front of us while we going into biblical prophecy about the downfall of this man and his sister. Yeah.
This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 19. There is no healing of thy bruise.
Yeah, that's to America, man, which is spiritually Syria. All right, there's no healing for thy bruise. All right, remember this place is have what? Nothing but signs of corrosion, signs of death, signs of what? Brokenness. All right, it being not whole. All right, continue forth.
Thy wound is grievous.
Right, the wound is grievous. All right, here in Babylon the Great, America. You know, you can clearly see it, man. Just try to drive on this road with all your tires on and what? And try to get to one part of the city to the other without dodging a big bump. You can hit a bump and you tried to avoid a bump, you know? And I'm like, damn, I tried to avoid that one. You could be on the street can collapse. Okay, the street is, I've seen street collapse, you know, in itself. And you like, damn, yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad that basically, even if they take the time to fill in and patch it, by the following week, it's another big hole.
Another one.
It's another big hole. You
Right.
see that often. They'll patch it. A couple of days later to a week, it's the same big hole that they just repaired. And then that's like, they don't even bother with it. They just let it be. You know?
It is what it is.
Everything is like that. Everything is like that.
You gotta create a pothole navigation app.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Report it.
probably get rich off that joint in Philly.
Report that joint. Yeah, I've seen this at 3 o'clock in the morning. Watch it. You know?
And it's so bad. Like they'll never be able to keep up.
Nope.
They got all these mass construction projects going on right now. You have certain areas that have been under construction for numerous amount of years. They still ain't done. So they ain't never gonna get caught up with this shit.
Yeah, 95. They've been working on 95 for about 10 years.
It might have been more than that,
Down
bro.
to 30th Street. They've been at the
Yeah.
train.
Right.
Yeah, that's
train
been a
station.
while. Oh,
It
36
took 'em-
station?
Yeah, it took them like 3 years to finish
Yeah,
that.
they
You
put
got
a
a-
porch. Yeah.
What is it? 70 over in Jersey. That's been under construction for how many years? Years, man. What the hell are y'all doing over there?
They milking it. They trying to milk it.
just for everything to remain broken, destroyed, fractured.
Hard. Yep.
But you know that you notice the tolls still going up.
Oh yeah. Messing right back in the streets.
Right.
That's
Parking
broke.
authority still taking people's cars,
Yeah, still.
saying your tickets don't have a statute of limitation. But if you got a ticket in 2011, it's 2026. You still got to pay for it.
No jubilee. Man.
That's crazy.
Money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Pressure.
Go ahead.
I got a piece of
All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee. For upon whom have not they wickedness passed continually?
Right. And this have went throughout the whole world. You know? It come to the ends of this earth. Okay? everybody felt what Esau Edom has done with his unjust ass. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Proverbs 29:2, right?
Right.
When the wicked are in authority, the people mourn.
Mm-hmm.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Uh-huh. Everybody crying and lamenting.
Yep.
My check not right. I ain't got a check.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got a job. Can I get a job? I ain't got enough food. You know, whatever it is. Look, you got people. Trump brought people over from South Africa to America, and they going back to South Africa, right? They said this is too bad. You know? You know what I mean?
This is off of what you're bringing out. Mm-hmm. This is Haggai chapter 1, verse 6.
Yeah.
You have sown much and bring in little.
Yeah, you bring in little, man. It's not enough. They tell you like that dude, become a fireman, make $96,000 a year and stuff like that. Let a crisis happen, they'll still be crying too.
But ye have not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
Right?
Ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Yeah.
And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Right. And what ended up happening? You taxed to death. All right, it's still not enough. You sitting there asking for a new position so I could get access to the next threshold of bread. That's only for them to tax the hell out of you. Meanwhile, they are operating, you know, with all the loopholes to be able to collect the welfare while you don't know who they are. Because that's what the Edomites do. You know, you got it right now, this big thing with the tiny tops and what they've been doing here in the Americas and such.
Scammers, grifters.
Yes. You know, they've been taken from, you know, the people. And now you got other Edomites. They come in and exposing it, and they sitting there trying to hide what they doing in the various, you know, they areas they took over. Lakewood, New Jersey. You know, different communities and such, you know. Yeah. You know, the tiny tops are the biggest collector of aid. All right, we pay for it. All right, because the borrower is subject to the lender. They lending this out. They set up the system. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, so only their people are really benefiting.
Yeah. They winning, man. Yeah. Next precept. You got something? Yeah.
Proverbs.
Yeah, so that whole point is there's no security here. No matter
Nope.
how much you invest in this place, there's no security. You're always in want.
Yep.
Because this place is completely against you, no matter how much money you make.
Yep.
Look, if you're making, like, say, $200 a day, if you get pulled over for any traffic infraction, guess what? That money is gone.
Yeah.
So you work for free that day, basically.
Yeah,
and if
man.
you get behind if you get behind one day, you basically get behind virtually a week.
Yeah.
Because let's say you needed a tire in the same week and you had to pay a damn ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then rent is due the following week. See how all that stuff starts to quickly add up? So no matter how much, 40 hours, 60 hours, don't even work past 60 because it ain't worth it. You know? That's the loophole for the common people. If you're going to work overtime, don't do over 60 hours because there's no benefit in it. Because you're just going to give them more of that money. You're going to put in all them hours and you're going to see tiny, just the smallest fraction of that hard time that you put in.
Yep.
So anything over 60, they say don't bother, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna start claiming crazy dependents,
benefits, yeah.
but then you're only gonna end up owing, you know, at the end of the year anyway.
Yeah.
And that's a gamble if you do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But anyway, that's what it is. He clothed you, but it's look, yeah, we got on garments and stuff like that, but remember, we are royalty. We're the servants sitting in low places. Or we're the princes sitting in low places, right? We're being treated as servants. You know, the world was created for our sakes, so we keep having to settle for mediocrity. And there's look, the world don't have to operate this way. That's the thing. We in a constant state of survival, no matter what. Look, you can have even money in your bank account. There can come a day where they call a holiday. Now you can't access any of that damn money.
Yeah, they can freeze it.
Right. Or let's say that, yeah, that's happened to me. Oh, we detected fraud on your account. Now I can't pull no goddamn money out from the ATM. I can't use my debit card, and I'm not carrying cash. And they fucking closed because it's Sunday.
I'm like, damn. Then the bill
shit
due,
like that happens.
you get hit with a late payment. Bills is due. You get hit with a late payment. Then you like, damn. So then they just made more fees.
Yep.
And policies on you.
The feudal system, right?
Yeah.
Elder Apostle Tar just mentioned that just not too long ago. Just recently. The feudal system, meaning a system of fees. You're always paying a fee.
Yeah. Everything. Services. You go to PennDOT,
Everything
man.
has a fee attached to it.
Hey, this piece of little ID, man, it got my same picture on there, man. Y'all know me. I gotta pay every 4 years or something renewal, and them prices go up.
Right.
If you want real ID, that's a big, what is it, like over $90 or something like that. If you want that, you know, if you want a passport every 10 years or such, right? Or what, 15 years or such, right? That's a fee.
Everything is subscription based.
Yeah. You know, you gotta keep on.
And if you want them subscriptions, you gotta pay them prices.
Yeah.
And they always increasing.
Yeah, that's it. If you share, man, we gotta cap even sharing that because people will share passwords.
Yeah.
If we find out you doing that, hey, we want to bring a legal claim against you. Fee. You know what I mean? Bank. Okay. Go to Dunkin' Donuts if you want to get a croissant. Fee.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because you're not just paying. Remember, there's a sales tax.
Yeah, sales tax.
Right?
See?
Tax on food.
Yeah.
Right, etc.
Yeah, man. Con. Go ahead.
And remember, a tax is no more than a fee. Right? Which you go into the word tax, it means demand.
Damn, give me that.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we're taking.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna bring out Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2, but I'm gonna start from Genesis chapter 3 verse 19. In the sweat of thy face shall thou eat bread, till thy return into the ground, for out of which thou taken. Right. For thou art, and unto thou shalt thou return. So essentially you're living by the check. You know what I'm saying? You're living by the check. You got guys that invest in pensions saying, yo, I'm gonna work an X amount of years, I'm gonna work 20, 30 years, and guess what? I'm gonna have well over $500,000, not understanding a thing called inflation.
Yep.
Okay? Essentially what was, let's say 50 grand 20 years ago, could be at no less than, let's say, it's not gonna be worth anything now. It's gonna probably be worth 10 grand in the next 20 years, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking that into account.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, well, let's put it in the perspective. You look at the housing market, right? These same homes that are going for $250,000 to $500,000, when they were first being purchased, only went for 30 to 60K. Or just 10 or 15 years ago were bought for 90K. Now they're all of a sudden 250,000, 300,000, 500,000. If you buy a $250,000 home, you know what you get? Nothing. You go to look at the images and the place is gutted.
Yeah,
you're lucky if it has a fucking ceiling. And I'm not even trying to be funny.
Yeah, the dude hiding, you know what I mean? He just ripped up the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And treasury bonds is a whole different beast in itself. You spend money on that, thinking that you're gonna accumulate some type of wealth in the next couple upcoming decades, not knowing that, like I said, inflation is a thing. What you spent $50 on isn't gonna really be worth it. It's gonna accumulate to, let's say, probably like $1,000, but $1,000 was about $100 before. $50 before.
Well, we can look at the different.
Yeah, we can look at I think it's let me see. I had the calendar up. It was a couple days ago. I had it up.
You could look at the the value. I mean, we already know the value of the dollar is what, but a few pennies, but it's ever depreciating. So we know the currency is being what, debased. That's what happened in Rome. Since brothers are talking about the different parallels between the ancient Roman Empire and the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is America. All right, it was spread itself thin with war. It needed to finance the war, but it didn't have the money, so it had to debase its currency. right?
Yeah, with them weaker metals.
With
in
them
it.
weaker metals.
Yeah, cutting.
You know, how they gonna pay the people?
Yeah, how we gonna do this war?
Yeah.
You know?
That's why they're asking for funding. Nobody wants to join your military. No, the people in the military don't want to go to war.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The average people in this country is fucking suffering. You got small pockets of people that are doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But the large majority, people are suffering out here. You got the homelessness that is ever expanding. Right? People are more and more, which we already see it. Brothers know about Zombieland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kensington.
Everybody knows about that now.
Yeah,
We bring this up at least once every stream now.
Yeah.
At this point, you literally got people out there live streaming pretty much 24/7.
Yeah,
all the crazy shit that goes on out there.
Kensington, right on Kensington.
It's well documented.
Yeah.
You know?
And they walking right past us.
Yep.
'Cause we got a train station right there on Girard.
Yep.
You know, in Front Street.
So, you know, people are more and more turning to offing themselves or escapism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, through these different drugs.
Yeah.
That's America for you.
Yeah.
Alcoholism.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got people that as soon as they wake up, the first thing that they do is have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They have a fucking drink and maybe they eat some goddamn cereal. I don't know.
You put on some
Or
shades
breakfast
and
bar.
go to work.
Right. Then right before they go to work, they hit that bottle again.
Yeah.
They go to their job.
They at work
Drunk
too.
as hell.
Man.
Right.
Got dudes at my job. They actually super.
Oh, yeah, gotta getting high.
Yeah.
Right? When they go on that smoke break, they ain't smoking cigarettes no more.
Mm-mm.
You know?
They ain't justifying themselves. It's 12 o'clock
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Or they're doing coke in the bathroom.
Yeah, man. And falling
Yeah, I ain't
asleep in
even
the
joking.
bathroom.
And
You
look,
knocking on there.
Look,
Wake up.
I remember when I first got into warehousing when I was young, you know, you had all that vigor, all that energy and stuff like that. But, you know, after a while, when you throwing cases all damn day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you start to feel it, man. You start to feel it.
Yep.
You see all these Edomites fucking still running around going, how the hell are they? Come to find out, the only reason why they moving like that is because every day they taking fucking painkillers.
Yep. Yeah, see, he right. Yeah, see.
They fucking taking, so they taking fucking them strong ass, it's not IV, the Proxen, ibuprofens.
They on perks.
Perks, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking about it, when I used to work at Lowe's.
So you already know that stomach lining is through.
Yeah, that dude, he can't hold his bowels. He got to shit every time. This dude, I
And not only are they on painkillers, they're jacked up on fucking 5-hour energy, Rockstar, Monster.
Yo, yep.
And they gotta drink one every break.
Yeah.
Every break.
I gotta go to Wawa. Convenience store.
Yeah, like I was just thinking about that. Like back in my old job, my boss was an Edomite, and I used to work at Lowe's on the wood section. And when I used to get tired, man, he'd be like all over the place. It'd be at the point like I don't even see him as much. I'm like, he's on his lunch break. Like, what's going on?
That dude in that bathroom.
He's like, are you done your shift? I'm like, bro, I just got started. I didn't even give a chance to sit down, man.
That dude in that bathroom, you had dudes taking 2-hour breaks and stuff. At they house bathroom.
Yeah.
They get, they make up excuses, all type of stuff, man.
Yeah. They sit in the bathroom for 2 hours, and then at the end of shift, they be putting in downtime.
Yeah.
So they can still meet their performance.
I'm like, yo. How?
Talking about, I was waiting for a pallet.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Fucking lying
Where
ass.
that desk audit at, man?
Anyway, these people are through, man.
Yeah.
Look, man, if you can't see this is the end of the end, there's no hope for you. You're going to just be pretty much waiting around to be destroyed as you already are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really a lot of these people, too. A lot of people are waking up, right? But a lot of people are still way asleep, man. Especially Christians.
Yeah, they don't have those 3D glasses on.
These damn Christians still talking about, no, it's not going to happen in my lifetime.
Like, what?
I just had it. Remember I told my testimony a couple weeks back. Like, dude, everything is in your face and you're over there in complete denial. But that's prophecy. The Lord said that was going to happen, especially amongst his people. All right? That they would put off the evil day.
Yeah, remember back in the 90s, you used to go to the movies and buy those little black glasses, 3D glasses, and you watching a different movie, than the rest of the people that don't got the glasses. So that's what the 2/3 of our people, they watching a whole different movie. They watching Channel Zero.
Channel 0. Shit.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
They watching the damn snow.
Yeah. That mug.
The fucking, you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. No, you had the chip box that you're on block. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you talking about. Damn, please. Yep. It's finished, man.
Wow.
All right, can I bring this piece? I've been holding this for like an hour.
Can
All right, this is about the bird.
Yeah,
and
but
shit.
that's like, I guess I gotta say
Go
this.
ahead.
They live. Roddy Piper had the glasses. And he wanted Jake to put on the damn glasses so he could see, and they got into a goddamn brawl. Look, motherfucker. You know? Just for that's how you got damn near break your fucking neck getting Jake to see what the hell is going on. And that's why leave Jake alone. Unless they sincere, you know? Unless they sincere. Remember, the scriptures talk about after the second and third admonition, reject. Shoot. Especially damn Christian, boy. Don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time, man. Go ahead, slide.
Con, this is Psalms 9 and 15. It says the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made, in the net which they hid, their own foot taken.
Damn.
Yep.
You know, the heathen stuck in this system, man. This matrix, right? You mean? Look, he don't know.
That's a luxury car. We looking at that's
Yeah, it was Aston Martin and shit.
yeah.
God damn.
It should be sounding like that.
It was squeaking?
Yeah, it was squeaking.
Well, after you make that fucking monthly payment, well, you don't got no money for brakes.
Yeah, right?
You won't wear them rotors right now.
You can't go to AutoZone and get that.
Hell no.
Yeah, that ain't there.
They gotta be shipped.
Yeah, that's foreign. That's luxury.
Yeah.
I mean, you need a luxury cat. You need a foreign mechanic to put them on.
They gonna upcharge.
Yeah, they getting everything they can out of you.
Yeah, there's no bond for his brakes, man.
Right? Yeah, there ain't no bond, no ointment, man.
It's like America.
Yeah. You can't just patch that up and keep it moving.
Jake say all gas, no brakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Read that again, brother.
Con. This is Psalms 9, chapter 9, verse 15. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made.
Yeah, man, they made this system, man, and it was set to fail. Okay, so it's like a ticking time bomb and such, right? Federal Reserve. All right, we gonna make sure that they got these little notes. Yeah, man, you got all type of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, but it's just like engine, bro.
Yeah, man.
That shit going on.
You never know, man.
I'm pretty sure that might have been gunshots.
Yeah, this is North Philly, man. That's Broad Street right there. They giving $100 fines for if you drive over 35 miles, 25 miles per hour on that joint. You know what I mean? People probably shoot off of that, man.
Yeah.
Can't take this. Park on the street, you make a left turn. It's all type of things. People are losing it out here.
Well, yeah. Well, like the stuff that we just seen, that could easily have ended it in a shootout.
Yeah. He got out the car.
Yeah. And that's stupid.
Yeah.
To get out the car and start walking up on somebody like that.
They got guns.
Yeah.
People ain't using their head. I mean, the scriptures say that the love of many shall wax cold.
Yep.
So, yeah, nobody is considerate to anybody else. Mm-hmm. Not even just out of a simple principles of not wanting things being done unto you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't have that mindset no more. Do unto others what you would want done unto yourself.
Yeah.
They don't. That's out the window.
It's like it's no social maturity. Like, hey, my fault, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Like there used to be a time if you didn't like somebody, you could still, ignore them and go about your business.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
I call it common, workplace respect. Where basically you don't like the fucking guy, but you got to work with him. You don't want your job being any harder, so you're not gonna go out of your way to make his job any fucking harder. It was a mutual respect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you just kept your fucking going. No, nah.
Yeah.
Everything has to be instigated, and, you know, people losing it over the smallest little minor inconvenience. You can't even fucking check your surroundings, because if you look at the wrong motherfucker for 1 split second, he's ready to fucking start a goddamn commotion over it.
Someone said on
Some weak ass, and that's weak shit. Some weak ass shit.
And I got a definition
Yeah.
for unhinged.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
says-
There you go.
Unhinged. It says describe someone who is mentally unstable, deranged, or acting in an irrational, chaotic, and uncontrollable manner. And the pressure from these people struggling on a daily basis makes them unhinged, and rational, uncontrollable.
Yeah, I went to the liquor store the other day to buy a bottle of Yayan, right? And I asked for another bottle. I wanted some rum, get one of them little rum bottles. So I said, yeah, let me get one of them rum bottles. And I guess he like knocked the tag off when he went to go reach down. And all of a sudden he goes, that's not what I fucking meant to do. I'm like, what the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he came back up and acted normal. I'm like, what the fuck? These
some
people are
spirits,
losing it.
man.
It's fucking, he literally just started spazzing out. That's not what the fuck I meant to do.
That's an
Like, you getting that upset because you knocked just the little plastic tag off the thing?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It was weird. It was some weird shit. Turns around and acts all normal and shit.
Society done, man.
Yeah.
Finished.
It's over with.
Good riddance.
Anyway.
So Matthews 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound or increase, the love of many shall wax cold.
You had a news story. This dude shot. He told the neighbors living next to each other. They told him to turn down the music. The woman was pregnant. The neighbor shot the husband and the woman. It took out 3 people. You know, all just to turn the music down.
Oh, yeah, I heard something like
Yeah.
that.
No, you just gotta let that shit ride, man. These people crazy, man. You know, you gotta these days you can't be meddling around with other things. You know?
Yeah, you gotta apply wisdom.
Take charge of your gut, your mind.
Yeah, gotta apply wisdom, man.
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
I have a meaning. A meaning to it's a word, a term on TikTok called crash out season.
Yeah.
It refers to a period. It says this is 3 meanings. It refers to a period characterized by 1, a high frequency of people having extreme emotional outbursts, like you just said.
Yeah.
Irrational reactions and giving into intense frustration.
Yeah.
Like what we just saw, you never get out your car, never. You know, you just leave that shit there. But dude wanted to prove his point, and that could cost us, his life, man. You know, it's a lot of situations that people don't think. They think about it later. They don't think about it now.
Yeah, because they're operating off of impulse.
Right.
And scriptures teach us what? Slow to anger, slow to wrath.
Yeah, discretion.
Because when you're in that state, you're not really thinking as clear-headed. You're not thinking rationally. You know, you're off your center. That's a point where your emotions are controlling you and you are not in control of your
I
emotions.
hope you know how to turn that joint. That joint big.
What was turning that down?
Shoot.
They turn?
Yeah, the back.
Shit, he did a better job than half the people that try to make that turn.
Yeah. God. Yep.
But yeah, these people are on that low vibration right now, crashing out. We gonna see more of that too. As everything tightens, and that greater economic pressure takes hold of this place, more and more people are gonna lose it.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's all according to prophecy. The brother just read it. The love of many shall wax cold.
Yep. Next precept.
Yeah. Proverbs 16:32, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
Yeah. You gotta be smart. That take wisdom, man. Because you can get out of a fight without throwing a punch like they're going to, just from having good judgment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do it a lot. People might think I'm crazy, but I be turning the other cheek, man. This ain't my kingdom.
Yeah, that's really a show of strength, not weakness. People interpret it as they may, but that's really strength.
Yeah.
You know? Right. The thing of it is, like the brother said, you can use intellect to fight your battles. Really, if you're on a low vibration, if you have a low intellect, you resort to violence. Right? That's the thing. You're not able to articulate yourself. You're not able to properly communicate. You know? You're not really comfortable with yourself. Right? You lack, so you need to now you need to go and prove something. This is why things generally escalate. Because they lack emotional maturity or emotional intelligence. That's a big problem amongst our people. They lack emotional intelligence. And why? Single parent households, being raised by their mothers. And that's how women act. Very erratic. They get excited at the small, minor inconveniences. You know?
Quick precept. It's Proverbs 25, verse 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. There's a saying in the world, it says, the strong man masters others, but a truly wise man masters himself.
Yeah, the one who's in the most control is the one who controls his spirit. And then you really are able to control that situation. You know?
Yeah, look at them bomb.
Yeah, hey, look, man, there's also another saying. If you're allowing somebody else to get you upset, it's like handing them the controls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're the ones pulling the strings.
Right.
You know?
Putting the steering wheel on your back and driving you around
Yeah.
town.
That's what these foods, the music, and the different movies that this devil puts out. That's what it's meant and designed to do, is to make you more impulsive. You know what I'm saying? And I got a scripture here.
Right. Well, and you got to also understand, with all this damn short-term content, people's attention spans have significantly decreased. People ain't even able to concentrate on any damn thing.
They call it slop.
You know?
TikTok, just slop.
A woman is generally more emotional than a man. Therefore, what do? You take the man out the household and you have them be raised by the mother so they could take on the type of stuff that they're being taught by the mother. You know what I'm saying?
Which is nothing.
Yeah. And what do they go out there to do? They act more impulsive. They're pretty much women in men's bodies. These niggas are pretty much, yeah.
It's called Arrested Development.
What?
Arrested Development.
Yeah. All right. So I got a precept here. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. These Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. One of his devices, like I said earlier, and y'all have been saying, is impulsive behavior. Not to be impulsive. The side effects of being impulsive means that you're capable of being controlled, and that's what this devil, he understands that. The devil understands that he can get people to do what he wants them to do if he can get them in a very low impulsive state. Okay?
Yep.
That involves chasing after money. All right, money pretty much that's created from nothing. That's just fabricated. You know what I'm saying? That's valuable just because he says it's valuable. Okay?
You know, well, that's what the term fiat basically means. Let it be thus. Let it be so. You know, it has the value that we say that it does. You know? That's basically the mindset. Because remember, we used to have what's called gold certificates and silver certificates, but they took the value that was actually backing the money system completely out of the money. Okay? By the signing, the Gold Act and Silver Act. So they took all the actual wealth from the money system. Remember the elder apostles, remember the first time I ever heard this about a dollar actually being a measurement of something. But the money don't actually have any true value, except for what they say that it does.
And for the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, that love of money.
Yeah.
And that's what you're seeing right now.
They propagate that spirit through music, through movies, right? That's really everybody's ambition right now. How do I become famous and rich? Rich and famous, right? Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Yeah. That's what they want. That's what they desire. But there's, that whole dark side is being reviewed. You know,
Yeah.
on what you have to do in order to inherit those riches on this side.
Think about
Right, or I shouldn't say inherit, but gain those riches on this side. You got to become a living sacrifice on the left-hand side. You got to embarrass yourself. Yo, y'all see them damn Charles Barkley commercials for fucking the new shot
Yeah.
or the
Ozempic,
fat loss
yep.
pill and shit?
Man.
He don't even look right.
He don't look right, but he said he goes he called himself stupid in that commercial, and he just made himself like he was literally like a tap dancing fucking.
It was like it wasn't even him.
It was crazy, man. Just look up Charles Barkley new lost weight commercial, and y'all see what I'm talking about. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Weight loss. Trim strap.
It says
He
Isaiah
looked like a goddamn puppet with strings attached to his ass.
Selling.
And then the things that he was saying in the commercial, even a dummy like me can do it. Like, why would you sign up for a commercial like that, bro? You calling yourself an idiot for the sake of selling these damn poisons, these damn fucking.
Fat loss.
And look, you know something crazy?
And that's witchcraft, and then that all them different side effects that come with that shit.
Yeah.
Just get on a fucking diet program. Do some intermittent fasting. Eat right. Do some light exercise.
I was looking up Charles Barkley, and this is what popped up, him in the dress. Back in
He
2012.
took a
Yeah, well, we know he done.
He's just a little bit more.
He sold out.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
See, this is the type of dream. This is the type of dream that you're chasing.
But
You're
these,
chasing
but
this.
these are your so-called idols.
Yeah. Stars.
These are your stars, right? You know, and they under the influence of Satan,
Yeah.
and they signed them contracts with the so-called white man, all right, to keep Jake in a low vibration.
Yep.
And that's really what? To separate you from being a people and separate you from your power.
Yahweh,
Yeah.
Shai.
To try to put the name of Israel out of remembrance.
Yeah, yep. Kind. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 16. It says, "Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven."
That's the baby. Remember the original. That's the original.
It says, "Thou hast multiplied thy merchants
Above.
above the stars of heaven."
About.
And that's
Yeah, he'll continue. You be on that side.
Come on,
Go ahead. Hold on. Read Quran 1. Yeah. Read it again.
this is Nahum chapter 3, verse 16. It says, "Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven."
Right, man. Which America, all right, has what? They got the whole world in what? In what? In a business with it. Because America is just what? A corporation. Okay? Corporate. You're dealing with nothing but deal, right? Business. Money. All right? The scripture talk about how, that go with also Ezekiel, the 28th chapter, right? Which you could get that after that. You know what I mean? Because America is just nothing but a place of capitalism, all right, to make profits and just to make themselves rich, right? You know, as we sit in this low state that we are in, the rest of the nations just lick the sores off of us, you know, and we just see that's like the madness, the confusion, you know? Go ahead.
It says, "The cankerworm spoileth and fleeth away."
Yeah. You know, we seeing, like I say, like this place just continue to go down, all right? To the point where it's like no way you can ignore it. These people, like I said, they got issues. They got, as I said, they got spirits on them.
Yeah, they definitely got
You know, heavy spirits on it. You sitting there going to the store to eat an ice cream, you know, and ignore the fact that you might, like I said, you might just, we went in an all you can eat. Craziest thing I ever did in my life, because I stopped going to that. Everybody know that. We don't do that no more. Went in a all you eat with my woman. When she came out the all you can eat, she almost about to have a heart attack, she felt like. And I'm like, yeah, mixing up with these abominations. You know what I mean? You got the wicked Jake. You got the Moabites. They don't care about the handling of things. They just care about getting your money and feeding you the food. They don't care about if that food is what? Expired.
Right.
They
Kosher.
don't. Yeah, kosher, you know, suitable, profitable, if it's lawful for you. They'll put on there something. Oh yeah, this is, you know, like for the Muslim, they'll put halal chicken on there. You know, I don't know what the hell you was doing back there, Moab. You know, we not Muslims. You know, but we don't really know what's really going on. So we got, as the scriptures say, though I walk in the land of the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. But you have to be praying, okay? And pray that the Lord deliver you from evil and these different temptations, you know? Because these days are very evil, right? You know? You have a heart attack. You done ate a chicken wing and you like, damn, I'm about to have a heart attack. I put a beef, beef spare rib, and I'm sitting there like wondering, like, why is Moab acting all angry about to hit me the cart, and another person about to run into me just to get the crab legs over there that I'm not even having nothing to, I'm not even trying to attempt to grab because that's not lawful. Y'all know how it is. Living in America is like playing leapfrog and shit, playing checkers and shit, you know? You know?
This is one of the reasons why. Just because they say the food is halal, that don't mean it's good for you to eat.
Yeah.
It's good for them to eat.
Yeah.
But it's an abominable to us. That when you say it's halal, it means it's sacrifice to their gods.
Yes.
A righteous sacrifice. It don't mean that it's good for us to eat.
Yeah.
That shit ain't good for us to eat.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta pray over your food. Because the scriptures talk about us having eaten our food defiled among the Gentiles.
Yeah, the defiled bread.
You know.
You don't know if you go into a restaurant and the spatula that he's using to pick up your cheese pizza, he used that same spatula to pick up a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Or let's say he's making a burger, you don't know if the hands that he's using, the gloves that he's using to make your burger, he was using those same gloves to make a bacon, some type of baconator or something like that, bacon cheeseburger.
Ain't just that, he could be scratching his ass.
Yeah, anything, your hygiene and all that.
Like,
He is scratching his ass.
That's why you pray over your food.
He
stuff
is
like that.
big
You
and
have
boogers.
to. You have to.
Yeah.
That's a must. You
Yes.
have to pray over your food.
You know?
You have to pray over everything.
Yep.
Like the elder apostles been saying. You know, look, before you leave the house, you gotta pray. When you wake up, you gotta pray.
Yep.
When you go to lay down your head to sleep, you gotta pray. But before you leave the house, you definitely gotta pray. When you in the house, you praying that the motherfucker don't just collapse in on you.
Yeah,
You know?
man.
Or you
Sinking
laying
floors.
down on the couch, a bullet don't come through there.
Yeah,
oven
man.
doesn't explode.
Yeah, the fucking
anything.
cooking over the gas stove,
Right,
make
you
sure
hear
that
something weird, like, hold on.
shit don't fucking explode in my
Chick-
face.
Chick don't ride until you get you in an accident, kill you.
Yeah,
all
that,
man.
all, just 'cause, like you said, we are in the valley of the shadow of death. Death is lurking on every side.
That's it.
You know, when you really start to meditate on what the Lord is saving us from, you know, some things aren't always apparent because you might just be chilling, you vibing, you know. But really, what's going on is there are angels that encampeth around the Akim, protecting you from all the things that you don't see. Some things are more apparent. Some things, oh shoot, if I had been a few minutes sooner, that might have been me in that accident or whatever. So some things are. That's why you gotta be thankful always and pray without ceasing. There's a lot of things that we've been protected from that we're not gonna know and probably until the end. Like, oh shit, that could have almost been the end right there.
Yeah.
You know, and you didn't even know it. You could be driving along, a tree could fall on your goddamn car.
Hell yeah.
Like with those storms that we just recently had.
Yeah, man.
I had to unfortunately drive. You know, I had brothers put up prayers for me. You know, and call Allah, call Allah, Yakalba Page. There was no tornado, but the winds were crazy strong. It was blowing trees down.
Guy
I'm
signs.
dodging and weaving huge ass branches.
Yeah.
You know, and once I finish my job, I still got to make that trip home.
Yeah.
But I felt like there was a force field around me because the wind was blowing strong, but my car was like staying sturdy. You know, like I was breaking through the wind. But hey, man, pray, and pray. You know, definitely, especially the times that we're living in now. Pray over everything. Pray over your food. You know?
Water. Yeah, water. All that.
Make sure you're anointing yourself every day. Yeah, you got to say that anointed prayer. Also, right, the Passover is upon us. Okay? It's very near. Okay? Not next week, but coming into the following. All right? So, things are happening. You know? That death angel getting stirred up. You know, things happen heading into the Passover, during the Passover, and after the Passover. This is a very serious time that we're in, too. So you can already expect a lot of mass judgment to go out, man.
Yeah, man.
A lot of events are happening. A lot of parallels, you know, are happening, too. Because this very well might be the last Pesach. You know? And when we were delivered out of Egypt, what we were celebrating, the Pesach. When the firstborn was killed, we were delivered, all right, by Moses through the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know?
Yep.
And the Lord allowed us to pass through the Gulf of Suez when we were being
Pursued.
pursued by the Egyptian armies.
Yeah.
And they were swallowed up. So, hey, we in that time, man. Like I said, we're at the time where the Lord is very soon going to start administering power, Lord's will. Hey, this is our hope. This is our expectation. The Lord said that our expectation wouldn't be cut off. Somebody going to get that power. You know, we among those men that going to get that power, Lord's will, we be one of them. It's all in the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know? But divine intervention, miracles as well. But like I said, man, it's like the Lord definitely is already beginning to elevate us. Because I'm noticing my prayers are being answered a lot faster. Things that I'm saying are manifesting right before my eyes.
Breathe yet?
Things are happening, man. That just like we got the hawk just took out that pigeon, like right here. Right here. Lord being abundant with them signs, man.
Yeah.
So we just got to keep on our watch, man. Give them no rest. Keep going. Just got to keep going. Keep going. Lord's will. You know, we continue to be acceptable in His sight. You know, continue to purge ourselves, right? Stay humble. Stay sincere. Right? Make sure that we enter into the Passover, you know, as pure as possible through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that we're not eating unworthily, right? You know, just putting on that mindset. You know. Brothers, got anything?
Yeah, they should have one. I'll make you get it.
Said Ezekiel 28.
Nah, you gonna get this one. You know that precept that say flee mortal thoughts?
That's the
Right.
second address.
Yeah. You gotta get that in my
Yeah, you gotta be, and that's another. You gotta be praying for the miracles.
You got your phone?
You gotta be
Nah, I
praying
don't.
for the miracles.
You gotta get.
You know, that the Lord allow miracles to happen continually in our lives, especially in these times that will give us an advantage over the different situations we might face, over our enemies. Continue to pray that the Lord give us the advantage over all those that oppose us and oppose this truth, oppose the elder apostles, right?
Yep.
So you be praying for this power.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, go ahead.
Second Ezra 14:13. Now therefore set thine house in order.
Yeah, you guys get yourself right. Your bayath, come, right? Your houses, you know, plural for y'all out there, men and women. Y'all gotta get y'all house together. Get yourself together, man.
Get yourself together.
Yeah.
You know, the body or abode,
Yep.
right, is a house for your spirit. It starts with you first. You know, and then that actually affects the literal physical household. You know, but it starts with you. You set the pace.
And reprove thy people.
Yeah, which we doing that right now, right? We out here on the highways and hedges reproving or correcting our people.
Right, but it said set thine own house in order first.
Yeah, yep.
So you reprove yourself first.
Get that beam out your
Yeah,
own.
there you go. There you go. But
Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
Yeah, you know, we gonna put off that weak nature, that evil man, that old man. All right? We gonna, of course, as you have it with us, we calling you to the Lord's side. to our side, exhorting you, you know, to repent, okay?
Right.
Turn away. Come back to the Lord, because as you see, this place is done, okay?
Evils are only continuing
Increasing.
to multiply,
You know, they can't put more bomb on what's already like finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these people are still in a state of cognitive dissonance. You know, they
Yeah.
think that whatever's happening over there is only going to happen over there.
Mm-hmm.
See, this place still remains untouched. Boy, wait till that rude awakening. Wait till that dawning, because these people aren't going to know what to do with themselves. That's when you're really going to see these people crash out like crash dummies.
14. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man.
Yeah, you can't be worrying about all these different
Worrying,
things.
having anxiety about certain situations. You know, what are some common things? Well, you know, where am I going to be when all of this happens? Where's my family going to be? What am I going to eat? You know, those are mortal thoughts, because we in this flesh. So you're going to have them thoughts. You're going to have certain concerns and worries, especially if you have a family, children, a wife. You know, but you let them go in the sense that you understand that everything is in the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Everything. It don't matter if you're not there present with your family when all hell breaks loose. Because we trust that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to take care of us, take care of them. And let's say they don't make it. Let's just say, oh man, that's worst case scenario, right? What did the Lord say he was going to do?
He's gonna get back.
He was going to give us back 100-fold. He said that to his disciples. Why would that not be true for all of his servants? So there's a reward. Wait. So the Lord going to give it to you in this time, but not give it back to you in our kingdom when everything's perfect? We already should know and have prepared our minds to suffer, but suffer for righteousness' sake. But the Lord is also about balance. This is what you got to keep in perspective. You got to make peace with certain things. Doesn't mean you don't love your family. Don't mean you don't care about these things. But you need to remain spiritual and not let the heaviness of your mortal thoughts weigh you down. You know?
Precept.
Go ahead.
Well, Matthew 6.
See, what right now seems impossible is about to be absolutely possible. Like I said, miracles, divine intervention, and power is about to be administered. I believe that. I keep saying that every day I wake up. I just feel it. I sense it. Brothers are saying it too.
Yep.
You know, but we all can sense it in the spirit. Even if a brother didn't say it, brothers can sense it in the spirit. We too close to the end. So the Lord going to have to lift up a standard against us, man. All right? The Lord ain't going to leave us defenseless. We need strength. So the Lord going to equip us with such. And that power is going to be used to honor and glorify Him. It's going to be used to honor and glorify Him. Okay, go ahead.
Matthew 6 verse 25. It says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink.
So you got to really trust and embrace these words. The Lord, if you have faith, the Lord is going to adhere to you, man. Because without faith, it is impossible to what? Please Him. You want to stay on the Lord's good side? Continue to work on building your faith. Faith goes back to having trust and confidence. Trust and confidence in the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They are true. And the more you invest in that faith, the more these things work for you, man. Learn to apply the scriptures, right? But use the scriptures when you pray to the Heavenly Father too. You up for a promotion or whatever, you trying to get a new job. Lord said He would cause His enemies to entreat thee well. You got to remember the Lord about, which He knows, but you got to put them in application. Even when you pray, when you're begging for certain things. Why? Because it helps your cause through the Spirit. Go ahead.
It says, nor yet for your body what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? It says, behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?
Correct, man.
Yeah, the scriptures talk about, you ever seen a righteous man beg for bread? You know, we in the flesh, we get weak sometimes, but the moral of the conversation is, put your trust in the Lord.
Yeah.
He's not gonna confound you.
Yeah.
You gotta walk in it.
Yeah.
Because the scriptures talk about he's not gonna defend the faint-hearted. The fearful and faint-hearted shall not be defended. God, put your faith and your trust in Yakalba Page all the time.
Not faint-hearted.
Period, point blank.
Yeah, because we reaching that time of testing. So what are you going to do? You know, that's the ultimate question. What are you going to do? If you trust in Yakalba Page, you're going to be taken care of. You know? In our patience possessing your soul. All right? So you got to remember that suffering is a part of it. Things might not happen immediately, but also at the same time, the Lord is going to sustain us in these different situations. And we got to pray for the Lord to do so. You know? That's why it's important to have a relationship with Yakalba Page and actually have those conversations, have those intimate conversations. No matter what, the Lord put a spirit of integrity on you that's unwavering, that you'll be faithful unto death to receive that crown of life. So you take whatever mortal thoughts you have and you recycle that energy into something that the Lord said. You keep it spiritual. See, the brother read a precept because this was, you know, the Lord covered it. The Lord covered it through His Spirit. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait. We're going to trust in Yakalba Page. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And if you have real faith, the Lord's going to come through every time. Sirach, the 2nd chapter, tells you that. There's none that had put their trust in the Lord and was confounded. And we have the ancient examples. And guess what? We were a part of those ancient examples. Right? We witnessed those miracles back then too. Now, why do you think we so heavily confident that the Lord going to do it again and do it much bigger? Because some of us seen the Lord doing those miracles and healing and, you know, bringing people back from the dead, you know, multiplying the loaves, right? With Moses and seeing the Gulf of Suez part, etc. That's why it's really in you, man. It's really in our spirits. All right. So, what else we got? Is that more on that?
It was 15.
Okay, go ahead.
And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
Wow.
And haste thee to flee from these times.
Yes.
Read that in the NLT. Let's see what that says in the NLT.
I don't think I got it on see the second address. You got it?
That's gonna be like a good news translation.
Yeah.
'Cause that's they got that for the Apocrypha. Yeah, NLT for the Apocrypha, man.
Yeah, the GNT.
Yeah, because in these days, like, you know, like you got depression. Sometimes you might find yourself with a depression spirit and like, you're like, damn, man, ain't shit working.
Anxious, worried.
Yeah, you like, oh, man, this shit over, man.
Yeah,
like how Apostle said.
It's all a test, brothers. It's all a test,
Hey,
you know?
he said, man, we months away.
Right.
If not months, hey.
That's why you gotta let it go. You know how you let it go? You wanna really know how you let it go?
Mm-hmm.
You just confess Yakalba Page is in your hands.
Yeah.
That's how you let go. You confirm it in your spirit by confessing it and then just applying that mentality.
Yep.
It's in your hands. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, I'm subjected.
Look, some
to
of
that.
Brother Zion had once told me a while back. He said, if you could change a situation, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But if you can't change it, there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
So you gotta let it go.
Yep.
Knowing that it's in the hands of the Lord, and it's always been in the hands of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That's why even if you know you could do something, you don't act on it without prayer first.
Mm-hmm. Counts.
And then if you do it and it is successful, well, it confirms it. But even if you fail, then the Lord didn't want that. That's it.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to experience that failure. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because that's a test of faith right there.
Yep.
Now what are you going to do? Because it didn't work out. You going to disbelieve now? You going to get that all down and shit?
Yeah.
No, now you got to be like, well, that was the will of the Lord.
Yeah, man. Keep it moving.
See, that's that rebound. That's that rebound.
Yeah, on to the next.
A lot of people don't got that, man. Especially in these times. Well, wait a minute. That's what the scriptures tell you. Shall I find faith on the earth?
Yeah.
That's how bad it's gonna get heavy out here, man.
Yeah, man.
So that scriptures like this, these basic, fundamental, foundational scriptures are extremely important. What do you think we're gonna be relying on when all hell's breaking loose, right? We in these precarious predicaments, right? These dangerous or perilous times that we live in. Isaiah 33:6, right? These are gems right now. These are gems, right? Even though they're elementary precepts, you would say, right? Entry-level precepts. They're what build a solid foundation for you to be unmoved in this ministry and in the faith, and to endure. These scriptures are what builds that hardness and a stronger mentality. But go ahead, I digress. Brothers, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, this with the NLT?
Yeah, you got
This
it.
is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verses 15 in the GNT.
14.
I mean, Salaki. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 verse 15 in the GNT. It says
verse 13.
13. Come. It says, so set your house in order, warn your people, comfort those who are humble, and teach those who are wise. Then say goodbye to this mortal life.
Yeah, this place is through. You know, this life here is finished, man. Hey, goodbye. Goodbye paying them damn bills.
Yeah.
The car that just break down on you and shit. You like, damn.
No more.
I just helped it. You know what I mean? I put all, the mechanic said it was good. It just stopped. I seen brand new cars stop. Brand new. Right off the dealership, just stop. Look, don't worry about it. Day by day, man. Okay, you gotta flee from these different things, man. These dumbass apartment leases and shit. You know, you sitting there contemplating, should I get a mortgage? This place is dead. Okay, the mortgage is death. Right? Just keep moving, man. You alive. As long as you got life, you can put praise to the Lord, man. Cause he gonna make sure you good. You know what I mean? Even in the storm. Remember, Peter had to walk, right, on water with Yahushua. Okay? He talked about that doubt. Okay? We got to keep believing and walk with Yahushua because he controls the storm. All right? While you sitting there, water and star, Yahushua sleeping, and he like, all right, here, rebuke the storm just like that. Your Lord controls the storm. Okay? He controls your outcome. He controls the enemy. And what? He controls you, right?
Yeah.
Your family, everything is in his hand. That's why he's Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So you got to remember that in these last days. Don't be, you know what I mean? Remember that. Just kick that. Punch yourself in the face. Give you that pep talk with that precept. You know what I mean? We got to do that. I be doing it. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Devil, Satan try to shake you and stuff.
It says, verse 14, put earthly cares away from you, throw down your human burdens, and lay aside your weak human nature.
Yeah, man. Let that go, man.
Doesn't mean that you don't be responsible.
No.
Right? You still take care of your commitments, but once this place goes, that's it. And that's what we're looking forward to. We want to be free from ever having to go back to work again.
Yeah, I don't want
Right? We don't want to pay no goddamn mortgage. We don't want to pay no goddamn rent. We don't want to pay no fucking car loan, car lease. All right? All those are all burdens. They're all you know,
fucking
bonds,
problems,
man. They're all bonds.
Yep. Yeah.
Literally.
Debts.
This whole system is nothing but a debt slavery system.
Yeah.
All right, like my man over there at he used to be High Impact Flicks. Now he's here's the deal and Disturbing Illusion. He says America is the home of the slave, land of the free. So we waiting to get liberated out of this damn place. We still in captivity. Everything about this place is a constant reminder that we still in captivity. If you can't see that, you through. So, you know, every brother's situation, you know, or sister situation is different. When you weighing those things out, you got to pray to the Heavenly Father and make sure that, you know, you're making sound decisions based upon that situation. You know, if you could avoid taking on any more debt, that's great. Really. But if you are in need of upgrading your situation, then do it
Yeah.
responsibly.
Entrepreneur.
Take responsible risks. Right now, it's most important to relieve yourself of debt as much as possible by paying it down. Do what you got to do, right? That's part of getting yourself in order, being fiscally responsible, right? Managing your affairs. That's part of getting yourself in order.
Economize.
You know, so that way when all hell breaks loose, you don't have no attachments to this shit.
Nope.
It'll be a fairly easy transition. And brothers who are experienced already are expecting all of this. We want it. Right? Shit, take everything. You got
it.
don't got nothing in this place anyway.
Yeah.
Besides the brotherhood and the truth.
Yep.
Then that's all we need.
That's that Chinese dog.
It's a pretty
So
dog.
slack you for my rambling, but go ahead.
That's that Chinese dog.
Is that it on that?
One more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 15 says, put all anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly.
Ready to what's that? To be beamed up, man, to ascend, man. You know, that's what we got to get ready for, to ascend. Okay, out of this place.
Delivered from this hell.
Are better than this, man.
Yeah.
The whole earth and the riches and all of that, and the heavens and all the stuff, invisible and visible, is going to be in your subjection through being joint heirs to Yahweh Shai. So we got to keep on, you know, as it say, man, ought is to pray rather than faint. And be not faint-hearted when thou prayest. And you have to believe, you know, tell yourself, I'm a mayan, I believe, by Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem Kakadash, and then Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem Kakadash, that's in the Hebrew. So the force, look, as the brother said, we seeing prayers being answered that we prayed for and continue to pray for.
Yeah.
I see my enemy without wheels on his car. You know what I mean? All 4 of them. On crates. Damn. You know, and even if it got another set of wheels, I set fire on the damn wheel itself. All right? Ahead of time. Okay? Hey, and we know, like I said, Babylon is through, so they don't got no salvation. So, you know, we keep on, you know, chanting down Babylon. Babylon, Abba, you know. We keep praying for our deliverance. Yahweh Shem Hawashai Nawa, you know, to deliver us. Mayan Babal, from Babal, what called Ratazah, and all the earth. Okay?
Yeah, we've been given that gift of faith, man, so you got to apply it and use it.
Yeah.
The world, their motto is, seeing is believing. Here it is. We see both the spiritual and the physical, so we've been blessed with both. You know? If you see the physical, guess what? We also see the spiritual too. We see both sides. That's why we look at the sky and we admire the Lord's handiwork. We see everything going on around us. This is the Lord's handiwork. This is the manifestation of His will. So we've been blessed with both sides. We got the physical. We know physical. You know, we touch. You know, smell, see, etc. But we also got the spiritual.
That's right.
The cognition of the mind, right? The thoughts, everything that we're able to perceive really comes from Yahweh Shem Yahshua. So,
As the hair blows in a certain direction, as the wind, our hair blows in the direction of the Lord. You know? We have that fear. A fear that blows in that same direction.
yep. All right, so with that, we're going to say Panya Hakwadam. We're going to give all honor, glory, and praise unto
Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakakadash.
We're going to give double honors unto our Holy Apostle, rule well. Hearty, sincere shalom to all the hopeful elect. I hope you're edified this street ministry, street teaching. Until the next one.